Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my first video in a few years because I felt like I never had nothing to talk about, but now I got something to talk about. So I would just break it to y'all like this. I messed around and got married. I got married. So I'm gonna tell y'all how we met, and then I'm gonna tell y'all my reason for coming back to YouTube, okay? We met on Facebook in 2022, and prior to me meeting him, I remember breaking up. Well, not breaking up. I remember cutting off my sneaky link because I started to really catch feelings for him, and that was not the plan, nor was it what I wanted or what he wanted. So I kind of broke that off. Oh, here go the police, y'all. I don't know if it's illegal to vlog or whatnot, but here we are. Why would you block traffic? Is the light green? How are we supposed to get around the traffic? So this man is blocking traffic. So now we all have to go around him. Anyway, y'all know I get distracted. So here we are. So I done messed around and got married. Like I said, we met on Facebook in 2022. I had to break up my sneaky link because I started catching, I don't even know why it's called sneaky link. I wasn't sneaking, I just was, you know, anyway. So we stopped talking because, like I said, I started to catch feelings, and it wasn't something that I had planned for, nor did I want, because I don't know, I don't know, wasn't ready. So, and I will say that him and I had been having unprotected sex for like a year and a half or whatever. And to be honest, I don't know who he was with, but I do know who I was with, and I did have protected sex with other people, whatever. But him and I, we just wasn't. So I remember on February 14th, I went and I had my well women exam, and I had my overall physical, and I had told my gynecologist, because she's a G, that, you know, if I don't have any STDs that are not curable, because I already had put in my head, like, you was reckless, you probably got an STD. That was, if I didn't have an STD that was incurable, then the next, then I'm gonna just stop. I'm gonna stop with all my reckless behavior. I'm gonna just be celibate until I get married. Fast forward to March, when my now husband came into my DMs. He swears up and down that I came into his DMs, but whatever. So we started talking, and like the conversation was so good, but I remember saying, like, you gonna have to call me on the phone because these texts and these emails or messages or whatever, they sound too good to be true, and I feel like you like some Nigerian scamming me, right? So he was like, okay, I'll call you in a little bit. So I was like, when he said I'm gonna call you in a little bit, I was like, it's gonna be some mess. But he actually did call me in a little bit, and then I was nervous before I answered the phone because his number was 808, and I don't know where 808 is, but I answered it. We talked. We had set a date to go hiking that Saturday. It was, I think, Monday when we met, or Tuesday. Really started on the phone. So we had planned a hike for Saturday, and then Wednesday rolled around, and he was like, you know, I really enjoy talking to you, and I feel like, you know, we're grown, so we should just go ahead and meet if we want to. And I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing to do, let's meet. So we met at this restaurant, and he was like, yeah, I'll meet you there, I'll be the one on the bike. My dumb ass was like, on a bike? I'm like, what the fuck? But you know me, I'll try it. I see what it's about. Got there, he was not on a bike, he was on a Harley. And I was like, girl, okay. So we went into the restaurant, and I'm not a big social eater. I'm not a big eater, period, but I'm not a big social eater. So we got into the restaurant, ordered stuff, and I ain't like none of the food. It was disgusting. So then he was like, this is going so well, like, do you want to go back to my house? And I was like, I told him, nah, because if I go back to your house, we gonna have sex. And he was like, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. So I went. And so we ended up having sex, like I said. And then at that time, I had settled in my spirit, like, you just told God that you wasn't finna go out here and be reckless. But here you are, being reckless. So I was just like, it is what it is. So like maybe 10, 15 minutes after we got done, he was like, I really hate to do this, but, you know, my daughter's coming over and I don't want her to see me with, you know, some random woman. And I was like, oh, baby, you ain't got to lie to me. You ain't got to make excuses. Like, if you want me to go, I'm going to go ahead and go. And he was like, nah, it's not that. And I was like, I'm a player. Like, you know what I mean? I got it. He was like, no, it's not that. So I got my clothes, and low-key my pride was a little hurt because I was like, Simone, you doing the same shit over again. But I remember he walked me to my car and he kissed me on my cheek, and he was like, call me when you get home. So I called him when I got home, and he was like, I'm glad you got there safe, and my daughter got here safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. So mind you, that was Wednesday. So on Thursday we were talking, and it was just so good. And I remember him saying, I can't wait to see you on Saturday. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't say this to him, but I was like, what? Like, bro, I came to your house, we had dinner, we did the nasty, and you still want to see me on Saturday? And he was like, he was just so excited. So we met up on Saturday, and we went on a hike, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And not just the scenery, but just the interaction between him and I was just beautiful. And that was like something new experience. Let me see if I can turn this around a little bit. It was a new experience, and I was really like, I don't get butterflies like that. I don't like envision myself in the future. Like, I'm just like, the time is now, right? But I was seeing myself like, oh, I could like him. I could have feelings for him for real, right? So we went on that date, and then we went hiking, and then so my grandmother had passed away later on that month. No, my grandmother passed away. I don't remember if it was before we met or no, it was before my grandmother passed away. I'm trying to get this camera angle right. But my grandmother passed away before him and I met. But they didn't have the funeral until, this is getting on my nerves. They didn't have the funeral until April. So he likes to go scuba diving. So he ended up going on a scuba diving trip, and you know, I was with the family, had the funeral and all that stuff like that. So by the time he came back, like literally, he came back the day after my grandma's funeral when they were going to read the will. So I went to the will reading, and I'll tell y'all about that. And then I picked him up from the airport, right? And I promise you, I let him drive. That's another thing. I'm not a passenger. I don't like people driving me because I don't know if you're going to crash and kill me or not. But I let him drive from the airport, and instead of driving to my house and instead of driving to his house, baby, he drove to the hotel and was like, I need that good light. So we went ahead and got a hotel room and did the thing, right? And then after that, like, oh my God, like, I just want to be with him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to love him. Like, you know? And then one day after that, not the next day, but a few days after that, he calls to tell me that he can no longer talk to me anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, everything was going so good. And he was like, well, before I met you, I was in a relationship with somebody, and she had ghosted me because we got into it, and then she stopped answering my calls and texts. So I thought that she had broke up with me. So I moved on, and I moved on with you, and everything has been so great. But she came back, and I'm not the type of person that, you know, would do that to somebody or whatever, and it was kind of a, like, the whole situation was kind of a mistake. I should have been sure that I wasn't connected to somebody before I, you know, started something new. This camera is getting on my last nerves. It's gonna be crooked one way or another. So when I say I was heartbroken, I was heartbroken. So I was like, oh, we could just be friends. But in the back of my head, it's like, bitch, I ain't being friends. Fuck that. And then we remained friends. And then, I remember one day he had called me and it was raining, like raining, pouring. And he was just telling me that he had a very bad day and that he just wanted to, you know, be around me, and could we meet at Starbucks? And I was like, sure. So we met at Starbucks and we just sat there, and I had my laptop, he had his laptop. We was both working on separate things, and we were sitting there talking and enjoyed it. We sat there so long that Starbucks closed, and then because it was raining, I don't like driving in the rain, so we went and sat in his truck. And when I say, baby, I tried everything to get that D in the truck, and he was like, I can't, like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that type of man, like, you know, I'm connected with somebody or whatever. And I was like, if you won't cheat with me, you might not cheat on me, right? So I let it be, but I was impressed, but I was disappointed, right? So then after that, like, we kept talking or whatever, but he really kept it platonic. Like, we was just talking like, how's your day, whatever. And then one day he was just like, I don't want to be with her. Like, the way she talks to me, the way she treats me, it's just not what I see myself being with. Like, she likes to drink all the time, she likes to eat edibles. Like, I just really love being around you and our chemistry and our interaction, and I don't know what to do. And then my ego was like, tell her you don't want to be with her so we can be together. Like, he was just like, I've never had to break up with somebody, and I don't want to hurt her, but I don't want to be with her. And I was like, well, if you stay with somebody you don't want to be with, then you're going to end up hurting them anyway, so just be honest, right? So one day we were talking, and he was like, I don't know what to say. I said, hold on, baby, let me type up the text message, and then you just copy and paste it, right? And I did so. But it was very nice. It was like, you know, the time we spent together was good, but I just don't see myself being with you in the future, and I want to be married and all this stuff like that. So I sent the message, he sent the message, and she really didn't like put up a fight. Like, she really wasn't, oh, I want to be with you and it's work. Like, I don't really feel like she cared. So that was that. And then we ended up being in a relationship, right? So I would always joke with him, like, because I loved being at his house and I loved being around him, but I still had my own house and I still had 3 kids at the house, right? And at the time, my kids was, what, 15 and 16, and then my baby was 9, 10. So they didn't care too much that I was gone, but I just liked being gone too much for my own liking. Oh my gosh, this freaking camera keep falling and titties showing and all that. Anyway, sorry y'all. So I was like, you know what, I always would joke with him, like, it would be nice, like, if you like, it would be nice if we lived together. It would be nice if we had a house. Like, you should be like me and my kids' house so we could just spend forever, sun up to sundown. And 9 months into the relationship, we closed on our first house together. 9 months in, right? And it was cool. It was different. I mean, I love my house. I'm having buyer's remorse now because I feel like I'm outgrowing this house. But it was very nice. Like, he came in and just loved me in all the right ways, provided for me in all the right ways, and everything was good. There was some growing pains when it came to my kids because it's always been just me and my kids. So it was different. Fast forward to us getting married. Everything, when I say everything was good, before we got married, we never like really argued. We had disagreements, but we would never like raise our voices or call each other out of their names, or it was never like that. Not blocking number, ghosts. It was nothing like that. We would have a disagreement. We'd sit down and talk about it and resolve it like as soon as possible, because nothing was worse than feeling at odds with this man. When I say I love this man, I love this man. There's nothing more unsettling with my soul than being at odds with him. Like, you know? So after 2 years of being together, we decided to get married. And at first the timing of like when we chose to get married, the date seemed to be a very good idea, but after celebrating our first anniversary, I feel like it was a bad idea. So we got married in November because both of his parents' birthdays are in November, and my mom's birthday is in November, and his father had passed on our 1 year anniversary of being in a relationship, and then my mother had passed, what, 10 years ago, 11, and you know, his mom's birthday. So I was like, in this time of sadness, like, let's bring some happiness and joy back in this time of year for us, right? So we got married the first week in November, and it was just like on cloud nine. No, I'm not gonna lie, we got married. That day was the most amazing day of my life. I got to marry the man I love, and it was like no other man could, like, no other man exists. This is my man. I'm a virgin. Like everybody else before you didn't matter. It was nothing. And on the day after we got married, baby, life changed. This man did a complete 180 and turned into someone I just don't even recognize. And when I say don't, I mean even after a year, I'm still trying to figure out who it is that I married. Now, the day after we got married, he was like, oh, well, you know, I wake up at 5 o'clock and I watch you, you know, stay in the bed till 8, 9, 10, 11 sometimes. And I just feel like, you know, if you're going to be Mrs. Anderson, then there's things that you need to work on. And when I say this man writes memos and emails, like all type of stuff, telling me who I want to be and if I want to be Miss Anderson. And for the first like couple months, like I really took, like, I was really sad, because I was like, if I wasn't up to your standard when you married me, why would you marry me, right? And then two, I was asking myself, like, did you force him to marry you? But I didn't. Like, I didn't like hold you at gunpoint to marry me. And then after a few months of being sad, I was like, bro, I told you when we first got into a relationship, I would never be you. I would never be you. Like, there are a lot of things about this man that I lack as far as structure and as far as just, I'm a wild free spirit. Like, I like to go with the wind and see what the day brings me. Like, I don't like planning. I don't like none of that. And he's the type of person that planned out every day, always had an itinerary, and I loved it because it's very thoughtful. Like, he's not a gift giver. He's not really romantic. But when it comes to giving gifts, they're always practical. Like, just recently he bought me what he thought was a gift, and that was supposed to make my heart tickle. Girl, he bought me a jack and a jack for my car because I don't have one. Like, stuff like that. He was always buying thoughtful things. So, and I really appreciated that, because you were paying attention and giving me what I needed and not just what I wanted. But like, again, after we got married, he became something very new, very critical of myself, my kids, how I raise them, how we eat, how we do everything. And I'm just like, I would never be you. I don't want to be you. I am funny, can laugh at my own jokes, am an open book, transparent about my life and experience. Like, I would never try to be you. But the best parts of you, I would definitely benefit from when it comes to his financial stability and his financial literacy. Like, there's so much about him that I would allow to rub off into my everyday life. But as far as personality, baby, I'm still gonna be the light. I'm still gonna be the laughter, the joy. I'm gonna still be that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still not gonna care about what people think of me. I'm gonna still be me in areas that I feel are most important. But I'm also aware of, areas of my life where I need to change. So again, he started being judgmental, just doing all kind of crazy stuff. And that's the reason why I decided to come back to YouTube, because when you gloat on social media and to all your friends and family about how you met the most amazing man in the world and how he has changed your life for the better and he is just everything, and then he turns into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, then I'm like, I'm not the type to save face and be like, oh my God, my husband's still perfect. No, he ain't. But I needed somebody to talk about it too. And right now, like, honestly, I don't really have too much of a relationship with my family, and not because anything went down. It's just that I prayed for my husband to have a certain type of family. And when I say my husband's family is the best, it's the best. So my support system is my best friends and his family. But I was like, you know what? I don't see a lot of people on social media being realistic about marriage. Like, I see all the, the family influencers wearing the matching pajamas and outfits, and then I see the people either like polar opposites. Either we're all good and fankity funk, or we're all bad and I'm down to you, right? So I'm not gonna be that person, because I love my husband and I don't believe in divorce, but I believe in talking shit. And I needed to talk shit to somebody realistically. Like, I'm not gonna down my husband. And I asked for his permission to get back on YouTube and talk about our marriage, because it's our marriage. And he was like, go ahead and talk about whatever you want to talk about, because you know what I mean, go ahead, that's your reality. And he said that, I'm like, bro, it's your reality too, but whatever. But I wanted to get on Facebook, and not Facebook, I wanted to get back on YouTube and talk about some of the things that we go through, because I feel like they so real and I'm so honest. And I just feel like how do I maneuver being married to someone that I love so much, but not liking him sometimes, right? And remember how I said that being at odds with him like unsettles my soul? It still does. It still does. I don't like it, but I've learned to endure it, because he petty. He petty. Like, when he get upset, he will turn off the Wi-Fi or change the Wi-Fi address and password so can't nobody have access to the Wi-Fi. He do little petty shit like that. And before, I used to just roll with it. And then I'm like, Simone, like, just because you married this man does not mean you gotta let him run over you, right? His mom was like, yeah, girl, he probably changed because he got the pink slip on you. Now he own you. So I started being petty too, right? But I never stopped being his wife. I never stopped loving him, taking care of him, having sex with him. But I be petty too. You know what I mean? Like, I be petty now too. You're not finna just do me all kind of crazy and then think I'm supposed to just be like, what the fuck? This girl almost ran the stop sign. Like, what? Anyway, so I just am learning to deal with it. And like I said, I wanted to come back on YouTube and talk about the struggles that I be going through, because I'm pretty sure there's people out there that's going through it too and just don't want to talk about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. So this is the life update that I wanted to give y'all, and I wanted to just share with y'all some of the topics we gonna discuss. Like, I am recording a video of some of the things that I want to accomplish. I love my husband, but he is not the most supportive person unless you're doing the things that he wants you to do, when he wants you to do it, and how he wants you to do it. And I'm just like, bro, we all have, like, So I want to talk about all the things that I want to accomplish on my own without his support. I want to show y'all our house. I want to show y'all how I cook. I want to show y'all me being a realistic housewife and the struggles that I go through, the happiness that I endure, and just, you know what I mean? Just, right? My daughter left her AirPods here and she's going to be miserable. But yeah, I wanted to give y'all a life update. Ask me anything that you want to ask me in the comments and I will address them in future videos. But I've made it back home and I need to go in here and get my life together. But I also want to tell y'all I got me a new dog. So yeah, I love y'all. I miss y'all. I'm gonna try to get back on it. To my #1 fan, I hope that you're still there and you know who you are. Bye.